so to speak, for you to see if he's ready. Please give a warm welcome to Gregory Dark.
That was some good shit. When I was going through puberty, I went into my bedroom and I thought I was all alone, so I took my clothes off and I started rubbing my genitals with a $20 bill. And I got so excited I didn't realize my dad had walked in the room. He's standing behind me and he yells, "Cut that out, you little pervert. You don't know where that money's been." And he walks out the room. I thought for sure he was going to punish me because it was his $20. That just still doesn't work. I put it in my girlfriend's coffee and she's still bitchy. She's complaining that her coffee tastes like shit and she's suffering from feminine itch, and she says, "You don't love me, you don't need me, you use me. What you need is a blow-up doll." So I looked at her all confused and say, "What do I need an inflatable doll for when I have 2 younger brothers?" I was seeing this psychologist and she told me I need a plastic cutting board to cut fruits and vegetables on, and a wood cutting board to cut raw meat on because it has germs. And I said, you can cut the fruits and vegetables on the wood cutting board as long as you wash it properly. And I read in the paper that there's more germs on a kitchen counter than there is on a toilet seat. And she said, "Do you believe everything you read?" And I said, "Yeah, that's why I'm going to start eating off of toilet seats from now on." I remember when the doctor cut my umbilical cord. I turned to him and I said, "Thanks, Doc. I thought she'd never leave." And I just met her and she wants me to move in. And then my eyes started to focus and I looked closer and I said, "Dad, is that you? I didn't know you were a doctor. What are you doing with that clothes hanger?" KY jelly doesn't taste like toothpaste. But it comes in a tube that looks like toothpaste. Shouldn't it come in a tube that looks like toilet paper? I was running late for work, and I walk into work and I noticed my boss put this suggestion box on the wall. So I had a good idea and I wrote it down on a piece of paper, but I made the mistake of putting my name on it. Sure enough, my boss calls me into his office and he's holding my suggestion in his hand and he says, "Gregory, right?" And I said, "Yep." And he says, "About your suggestion here, it says you had a hard time finding the safe injection site." And I said, "Yeah, it wasn't clearly marked. It took me a while to find it." So as security is escorting me off the premises, they're laughing because apparently there never was a suggestion box. And as the cops are handcuffing me and throwing me in the back of the cop car, they're laughing because apparently I don't even work there. Drugs are bad. So the safe injection site got saved in Vancouver. They just, the Supreme Court said it was okay for them to stay there. And when they announced that, the lawyer came out and said, "Oh, we won," and there's a big cheer, and everyone's like, "Yeah, woo-hoo," for like a minute. I'm thinking, who's cheering? You know, the junkies I could see cheering, but they're like, "Yeah, woohoo, okay, let's go shoot up." But they kept cheering. I'm like, who else is cheering? And I'm like, it must be the drug dealers. They're like, "Yeah, my long-term retirement plans are going to last longer now that my clientele are going to live longer." But then it's still, the cheering's going on too much. And the truth is, I was in that crowd, and I was like, yeah, because if they close the safe injection site, that one joke that I have would be obsolete. My 4-year-old daughter, she had, we're watching television, and I could smell this poopy smell. And it's just the two of us in the room, so I'm like, "Did you poop yourself?" And she's like, "No." I'm like, "Let's see what's in your pants." So I look in her underwear, and there's like some poo there. And I'm like, "Well, yeah, you did." And she's like, "No, I didn't." I'm like, "So what you're telling me is that somebody went through the trouble of handling a piece of feces and inserting it in your underwear without you knowing?" And I'm like, "Well, let's cut it up into some lines and see how pure this is." So she's a junkie now. Her mom's not very happy with me. Not the best parent. But we were poor growing up, and we couldn't afford a car, so my dad bought me this donkey. So I'd ride my ass to school. And all the kids wanted to touch my ass. And the girls liked how my ass felt, and the boys wanted to ride my ass. And then when school started, I'd have to tie my ass up to the tree. And I went into class, and my ass started making all this noise. And my teacher's like, "Gregory, can't you do something about your ass? It's too noisy." So I gave my ass a couple carrots and a cucumber. And that quietened my ass down, and one day I got up to go to school and my ass disappeared. I don't know, maybe he ran away or somebody stole my ass. So we phoned the police, and this officer comes by and he says, "Do you have any pictures of your ass?" So I showed him a flat family album of my ass, and he said, "That's a beautiful ass. We'll put an APB out on your ass." But they never found my ass. And I went into this depression, and to cheer me up, my father bought me a rooster. I could hardly wait for show and tell. I wanted to show everybody my cock. So at show and tell, my cock is running all around the class, and the boys are chasing it, and the girls think my cock looks funny. And my teacher says she's seen bigger cocks. And there's so much commotion that the principal comes in and he grabs my cock and he says, "Gregory, come down to the office." So I'm in his office, and he's holding my cock in his hand. And he says, "You know, Gregory, you really got to keep your cock in a cage." He says, "I got one question for you." He says, "How do you suck a guy's cock?" I'm like, "Are we still talking about roosters here?" And then he drops his pants and starts rubbing himself with a $20 bill. I was really thirsty, so I got up the other morning to drink some water, and I nearly choked on a Cheerio. Like, who puts Cheerios in the toilet? And since when did they start making chocolate Cheerios? Dairy Queen. Anybody here like Dairy Queen? Yeah. Woo. Yeah. We all like Dairy Queen. They had a sign up there. It said 2 teens for $6. I'm thinking, hey, that's a good deal. So I walk in and I talk to the lady at the counter and I say, "I'll have 2 teens, please." And she gives me 2 hamburgers. I'm thinking, what kind of brothel is this? But I guess you get what you pay for, you know, 2 hamburgers for $6 and 3rd-degree burns on my penis. And the restraining order. Well, my time's up. You guys have been great. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Dark, everybody. That is, wow, that is a thing. It's quite the thing. Good job, Gregory. You know, the other day I was